I'm Shauna Lemon with xElleVentures. Thank you for joining me for Excel's Investor 101 series. Today's topic is due diligence. If you've been participating in Excel's Investor 101 series, then you know how the Excel process works. Generally, entrepreneurs who are seeking funding from Excel will apply through our website using the GUS platform. Those companies that are deemed qualified will then be screened by our screening committee. Those companies that pass that test are invited to participate and present to our general members during our general membership meeting. If there is sufficient interest, that company is then invited to undergo the due diligence process. The due diligence process is generally the final step before the investment decision is made. So what is due diligence? Due diligence is the investigation and analysis investors perform to determine whether the investment opportunity meets the investor's criteria for funding. Angel investing is high risk. That is, you're not guaranteed a return on your investment. However, the primary objective of due diligence is an attempt to mitigate the risk by gaining an understanding of a company and its business, as well as determining the suitability of the investment for the portfolio. At Excel, we consider numerous factors that include, but are not limited to, whether or not there's at least one woman in a key position at the company, whether the startup or early stage venture is located in North Carolina, whether the team is open to receiving input from Excel members. We consider the quality of the product or service, as well as the sales potential of the product or service. We assess the scalability and efficiency of the business model. We further assess the defensible competitive advantage of the product or service. We consider whether or not there are plausible financials, as well as a clearly articulated use of funds plan. The Excel due diligence process is such that the due diligence committee forms a team for each company. That way, members can join a team for a company that they're interested in. We've also developed an entrepreneur checklist. The entrepreneur checklist guides the entrepreneur regarding the information that Excel would like to receive for our analysis and review. We've also developed an investor checklist. The investor checklist guides the investors regarding the due diligence topics and information and questions that we'd like to ask of the entrepreneur. After receiving the information from the entrepreneur and evaluating the same, the due diligence team meets and discusses its findings. The due diligence committee then presents the findings to the general membership, after which an investment decision can be made. The entrepreneur checklist contains due diligence topics that Excel has decided are of interest, and there are 9 due diligence topics. They are leadership assessment, company structure, technology IP and product service roadmap, regulatory strategy, customer need and go-to-market plan, uniqueness and competition, market size and market opportunity, financial projections and funding strategy, and lastly, exit strategy. The due diligence team checklist addresses these due diligence topics and provides questions that guide the review for the investors. For example, with respect to leadership assessment, we may ask the question, does the team possess the appropriate balance of experience and skill set? We may review resumes, LinkedIn profiles, or other references in order to address this question. To assess the company structure, we may confirm the legal entity and review other corporate documents. In terms of technology, IP, and product service roadmap, we ask the question, how strong is the technical team and IP position? And what is the timeline for product development by the company and third parties, such as competitors? We assess the regulatory strategy if one is relevant. That is the strategy feasible? And what are the remaining regulatory risks? For example, if the product is a food or drug, does the product require Food and Drug Administration regulatory review before it can be marketed? We assess the customer need and go to market plan. We ask, is the product a want or is it a need? And are the market assumptions by the company reasonable? We further assess uniqueness and competition. That is, who are the competitors and what are their respective positions? We assess market size and market opportunity and ask, are the market share projections reasonable? We assess the financial projections and funding strategy. In particular, we wish to know what is the financial health of the company and are the company's financial projections reasonable? And as you may recall, with respect to Excel, our funding model is a debt vehicle. Therefore, we certainly would like to know whether or not the company can repay a loan. Financials are an extremely important aspect of the due diligence process with Excel. And in fact, financials are so important that they're actually their own topic under our Investor 101 series. And you hear more about that in the coming weeks. Last but not least, we assess the exit strategy and try to determine whether or not the exit strategy is reasonable. The due diligence process allows us to assess the information provided by a company because a company may appear to have a great product or service only for its perceived potential to wither under the scrutiny and microscope of due diligence. Therefore, investors carry out due diligence to limit unexpected negative surprises so they can make an informed decision about investing. However, no review is foolproof, but due diligence can help with efforts to verify the accuracy of the information provided by an entrepreneur during their screening session and during their pitch. I hope you found this brief session informative. If you have any questions, Excel members, please bring your questions and comments to our interactive session on September 24th at 4:30 p.m. For all others, please feel free to send your questions and comments to the email address listed. Thank you for your attention. Please join us for our future sessions for Excel Investor 101. Thank you very much.